Hello fire recruits, I'm Jill Craig, fitness coordinator at Austin Fire Department. As an exercise physiologist, I helped in the development and validation of the CPAT test. So I'm here today to give you some tips on how to train to successfully complete that. It consists of 8 events, each separated from the other by an 85-foot walk. You'll wear a 50-pound vest throughout the CPAT test. This is going to put additional stress on your upper body strength, your lower body muscle groups, and also your core. The aerobic training that you follow between now and your CPAT test date should begin by giving you a good base of cardiovascular strength, meaning that you can work for a long time. And you should also, once you've got that good base, start introducing intervals of higher intensity exercise so that you can sustain the higher intensity events and recover nicely during that 85-foot walk after. In training for the CPAT events, you should use movements that most closely resemble the task. Each of the events simulates a firefighting task that is likely to be performed while setting up operations at a structure fire. The first of those tasks is the stair climb, and this may be the most physically demanding of all 8 events. It lasts 3 minutes. One walks up the equivalent of 10 flights of stairs at the rate of 1 step per second. But remember, you're wearing a 50-pound vest, and during this event, you are also bearing the extra weight of 25-pound total shoulder weights, and those simulate the hose pack and the equipment that a firefighter would carry when responding to a high-rise fire. If you have a parking structure, a stadium, or a public building that you have access to, it would be great to be able to climb those steps. You can either purchase a 50-pound vest, or you can load a backpack with sandbags or some other heavy objects in order to simulate that extra weight that you'll be carrying up the stairs. Some other ideas are, for muscular strength, lunges. When you perform lunges, try to keep your knee from wandering out over your toes. Ideally, the forward knee would stay right over the ankle of that same foot. Step-ups are another great way to simulate stair climbing. As you progress, you can do your step-ups holding dumbbells or even weight plates. Box jumps are a little bit more advanced. They're a plyometric movement, so you should have a very solid base of strength in the lower extremities before you try them. Deadlifts are a great overall lower body exercise for strength and power. Here it's important to note that the firefighter holds the bar very close to his shins as he raises it. Note too that the firefighter is not pulling up on that bar with his arms or back. He's actually hinging the hips backward to begin, and then the lifting of the bar occurs simply by thrusting the hips forward. Here again, we're using the largest muscles and strongest muscles to achieve the lift. The hose line advance and pull is the next event. This is the only event in which you are allowed to run. The bent row is going to help you. Pull-ups are also a great way to engage the stronger muscles of the back. A modified pull-up then involves jumping, using as much of your upper body as you can, as much of your back muscles as you can, returning to your start position, and then jumping again. So you're using your legs to assist you. Using functional training, or training that's specific to the task at hand, can't be overemphasized here. The more closely your preparation resembles the fireground task, the more likely you are to be successful at that. You can rig up a system to simulate this task using a truck tire and a rope or a strap. Remember to pull from both the upright and the kneeling positions. The next event is the equipment carry. The fire candidate will take 2 saws out of a cabinet that simulates the position of a cabinet on a fire truck. Place those saws on the ground, walk a prescribed distance around the barrel, return to the cabinet, place them on the ground, and put the saws back one at a time. The saws do not weigh the same amount. One is approximately 25 pounds, one approximately 35 pounds. A great way to train for this event would be the farmer's walk. You could carry dumbbells or kettlebells, each of a different weight. Another idea is to use sandbags and carry them, ideally each one being a different weight. That will put an extra stress on your hand grip, and hand grip is a very important element in successfully completing CPAT. Squats are also going to be good to prepare you not only for this event, but for several coming down the line. When you perform squats, the hips should be sent back first. So you hinge first at the hips and next at the knees. You should come to the lowest position that's comfortable for you, feeling almost as though your weight is on your heels. Back should be straight, chest should be up and out, and then you perform your ascent by thrusting the hips forward and up. A more advanced version of this would be the overhead squat. The firefighters here are holding the bar overhead or even back a little bit behind the ears. Notice again, they're hinging at the hips, sending the hips back. The upper back is straight, chest is out. Walking lunges would be also a great preparation tool for you. Here, again, you're going to attempt not to allow that forward knee to wander out over the toes. The next event is the ladder raise. This is a challenge both to hand grip and upper body strength. You're going to learn to try to use the biggest muscles of your body, those of your back, rather than the smallest muscles of your body, those that control the bending of the elbow. This is an ideal exercise to prepare you for this event. Note that supported on a weight bench, the firefighter is dropping one shoulder, grabbing the weight, and then sliding the scapula along the back ribs until it stops at the spine. Then and only then is he bending at the elbow. This again teaches you to use your biggest muscles, those that take longer to fatigue than the little bitty muscles around your elbow. The lat pull is another super way to help you prepare your upper muscles across the back. When you reach up to grab the bar, you're going to initiate the movement by pulling down with the lats, those muscles underneath your armpits, and pulling as far down as you can with them before you bend the elbow, bringing the bar to your chest and then slowly letting the bar return to the starting position. I'd like to also show you a tip on how to keep the rope from sliding between your hands while you're raising the halyard. If you grab the rope in the thumbs down position, pull down, twist at the wrist till the thumbs are in the up position, you've effectively locked that halyard and prevented it from sliding through your hands. During this event and throughout CPAT, it's a good idea to use exercises that involve your entire body rather than isolating muscle groups. A hanging clean is a good way to illustrate that. The firefighter is holding the weight bar at about thigh level. Elbows are up, out, and over the bar. When the lift is initiated, you're going to dip at the hips, drive your arms under the bar, and then raise it simply by using your legs rather than your upper body. The forced entry event follows the hose line advance and pull. This involves a lot of rotary strength and power. If you are a softball player, a golfer, a baseball player, these movements will be familiar to you. If not, you may want to purchase a 10-pound sledgehammer and see what it feels like to swing that at a stationary object, one willing to absorb the impact. The chop is a relatively safe way to begin to train rotary power. It's a full body movement where one crosses the body diagonally with a weight, either a sandbag or a cable. You go from the high to the low position while creating a rotary movement at the trunk, or from the low to the high position as well. If you have access to kettlebells, the ribbon is a great way to train. You'll hold the kettlebell by the horns, bring it around your head. When it comes over your shoulder toward the front from the back, you'll allow the kettlebell to fall toward the opposite thigh, stepping that thigh out of the way. A quick step forward with that same foot changes the direction of the kettlebell so you can go up and around your head from the opposite direction. Sledgehammer swings against a tire 34 or 36 inches off the ground will be a great simulation of this event and will teach you how to handle the sledgehammer with accuracy and confidence. The next event is the search maze. You will proceed through the maze on your hands and knees. Inside, it's dark and there are obstacles that you'll have to work your way under and around. Remember that you'll be wearing a 50-pound vest. While it seems like it's an easy event, since we all crawled as children, it actually takes a lot of muscle mass and a lot of energy, so be sure you're comfortable crawling with a load. Bear crawling is also a good way to train for this, since it's just slightly more difficult, almost exactly like the crawl, but you're crawling with your hands and feet instead. That would put your hips high up in the air. As you approach this event, take a look at the search maze. Notice the direction of the turns. Notice the shape of the maze. This will help you visualize your position as you work your way through it. The dummy drag follows the search maze. This is one of the most demanding events, second possibly to the stair climb. It uses a lot of muscle mass and a lot of lower body strength. Revisit the tire drag and pull because that's going to assist you in this event as well. Deadlifts, lunges, bent rows, all of those exercises we've gone over, and they come into play in the dummy drag as well. Goblet squats with a kettlebell or a weight plate are a really excellent way to train for this event. Holding that weight up and in front of you also clears up a lot of problems people have with the squat. Remember, hips go back first, upper back stays nice and straight, chest stays up, and you'll feel as though your weight is moving back onto your heels before you thrust upward. In the dummy drag, the more of the load you can hold off the floor, the easier it's going to be because it will produce less friction between the floor and the dummy. The last event is the ceiling breach and pull. If you were to approach this event first, it would probably seem relatively easy, but remember it comes at the end, and CPAT has sequentially challenged your hand grip. Both the strike, which simulates breaking through a ceiling tile, and the pull, which simulates pulling down the ceiling to check for fire extension, those movements are both weighted. The farmer's walk is going to be a very good way to prepare you for this and to strengthen your hand grip. Push press is another very nice exercise. It resembles a standing shoulder press. The difference being that as you begin to raise the bar overhead, you're going to dip at the hips, drive your hands up, and then use your legs to effectively raise that bar overhead. Stronger candidates will perform the ceiling breach and pull with their upper body. Those of you who have smaller stature or have less muscle mass should consider engaging your legs to accomplish both the pull and the push. So we've gone over some very specific exercises that relate to the different events in CPAT. Don't forget good exercise technique though, the warm-up and the cool-down. Some really good ways to warm up would be medicine balls or sandbags. You can warm up with a partner in the figure 8 movement with the medicine ball or the sandbag, the over and under, or simply chest passing a medicine ball or a sandbag to one another helps you warm up the muscles of the upper body and to get your heart pumping. The greatest danger here for you is to push so hard that you sustain injury. That could be devastating to your success at CPAT. If you have actual pain in your joints or muscles, soreness that won't go away after a few days, you should attend to them, heal up, and go back strong and ready to perform high-intensity exercise. Best of luck to you as you train for CPAT. It should help you prepare yourself very well, not only for success at this test, but also for your tenure at the Academy as a firefighter cadet. Remember, firefighting isn't just a good job. It's a great career. I hope to see you soon at Austin Fire Department.